Ekonomiya ang isa sa mga magiging prayoridad ng administrasyon ni President-elect Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. Kabilang sa mga harapin ng ilan sa pinangalanan niyang miyembro ng kanyang economic team, ang lumobong utang ng Pilipinas, usapin ng dagdag buwis at 20 pesos kada kilong bigas.
Pagdating naman sa West Philippine Sea, patuloy raw siyang makikipag-usap sa China pero matibay raw ang paninindigan ng Pilipinas na walang kompromiso sa ating soberanya.
Pangako rin ni Marcos, lalabanan niya ang korupsyon. Ibahin daw ang kanyang pamumuno sa nakaraan. Yan ang tinutukan ni Ivan Mayrina.
Hindi pa opisyal na nasa pwesto bilang Pangulo pero nagsimula na raw ang trabaho ni President-elect Bongbong Marcos matapos sa kanyang proklamasyon kagabi. Matapos ang seremonya, nagtagal daw ng 3 oras ang naging pulong niya sa mga lider ng Senado at Kamara.
It also became productive because nakausap ko na yung mga legislators natin at sinasabi ko na sa kanila, ito yung mga dapat natin gawin, ito yung mga hihingiin ko sa inyo. First priority is always going to be the economy. And that's why we have been very, very careful in choosing the economic team. It's still down to jobs, to the increasing prices of commodities, some relief for the business community. We have to streamline the operations of government, which immediately brings us to digital and IT and digital communication para maging mas maganda ang patakbo.
Kanina tinukoy na ni Marcos ang ilang magiging miyembro ng kanyang economic team. Ang kasalukuyang BSP Governor na si Benjamin Jokno, itatalaga niya bilang Finance Secretary. Papalit kay Jokno sa BSP, si BSP Monetary Board Member Felipe Medalla. Pamumunuan naman ni dating UP President at Presidente ng Management Association of the Philippines na si Alfredo Pascual, ang Department of Trade and Industry.
I know the economic team is critical and that is what people are looking to. I think we have found the best people for it.
Inanunsyo rin kanina ni Marcos na kukunin niya si SMC Tollway CEO Manny Bonoan bilang kalihim ng DPWH. Si dating Congressman Anton Lagdameo naman ang magiging Special Assistant to the President o SAP. Natanong din si Marcos kung magkakaroon daw ng papel sina Party List Representative Rodante Marcoleta at Professor Clarita Carlos sa kanyang administrasyon. Sabi ni Marcos, nakausap daw niya ang dalawa at pareho daw niyang tinanong ang mga ito kung saan sa tingin nila sila makakatulong sa gobyerno. Hinihintay pa raw niya ang tugon ng dalawa. Isa sa mga pangunahing kailangan tutukan ng papasok na administrasyon Marcos ang nasa 13 trilyon pesos sa utang ng bansa. Naglabas ang Fiscal Consolidation Plan ng Department of Finance ay minungkahi kay President-elect BBM. Kabilang dito ang pagpapaliban sa personal tax exemption at mga karagdagang singil sa VAT at excise tax sa mas marami mga bilihin. Pero hindi pa raw handang magdesisyon ng President-elect kung papayag siya sa mga dagdag buwis.
We'll have to study that. It's still a cost-benefit analysis. That's an examination we really have to undertake. I mean, just for what I hear from legal practitioners, we have to codify our tax. Kasi yung tax natin, it has evolved over many administrations. And what I will try to apply is that there will be hindi lang yung kuha tayo dito sa sin tax, kuha tayo dito sa oil, kuha tayo dito sa housing, kuha tayo dito sa cooperative. Kailangan talaga may plano tayo. So gagawin natin yung plano natin and the fiscal policy is going to follow that. In my discussions with our legislators yesterday, we are trying to create some fiscal space so that to reduce the load on ordinary citizens and maybe move the load up, the tax load up, and there are also distribution of wealth implications to that, which are very, very important. It's one of the areas that I think we have to work on very, very hard. The economy is a living thing, and you cannot just look at one area without trying to anticipate what the real effect will be for the entire economy.
Isa pang problema ang napipitong food crisis na haharapin ng bagong administrasyon. Mahal na presyo, manipis na supply ng trigo, pagsipa ng farm inputs na makakaapekto sa supply ng pagkain.
We have to just increase production and baka mapilitan pa rin tayo mag-import. The importation was forced on us because our production, the problem is that the production was not sufficient. Since the production was not sufficient, to keep the prices down to an affordable level, we had to import. And nasa crisis tayo. We're in an emergency situation. So we may have to continue to do that. I don't want to sugarcoat the problem. The problem is serious. It will take, in the immediate future, I think we will be able to find palliatives, yung mga para naman makatulong lang tayo for now. But those cannot be the solutions, the long-term solutions. We have to find long-term solutions. There's nothing more. We have to go back to I know I keep saying the phrase, but that really is where we're headed, is the value chain of agriculture. From the very beginning of it, to production, to processing, to mechanization, to credit, all the way to retail. We have the basic elements in place. We just have to return everyone back to what their function what function is needed.
Ang isa sa mga nasabi niya sa kampanya na mapapababa sa 20 hanggang 30 pesos kada kilong presyo ng bigas, posible raw magawa.
That's the aspiration.
Paano po natin yung gagawin, PBBM?
Ibubuhin natin yung value chain na pinag-uusapan ko sa Kausap ko na yung mga ibang trader. Baka pwede nating i-hold ng ilang buwan yung presyo ngayon. I think we'll be able to do it as a first step. But in the long term, we really have to fix our value chain.
Mahalaga magiging papel ng tax collection para pondohan ang operasyon ng gobyerno. Ayon kay Marcos, marami raw aplikante para sa posisyon ng hepe ng Customs at BIR. Dalawang ahensyang pirming nasasangkot sa mga aligasyon ng katiwalian. Nabanggit pa niya kung anong ginawa noon ni dating Malaysian Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad para matigil ang katiwalian.
There should not be any place for corruption. Unfortunately, naging in some areas naging endemic na talaga yung corruption. You will have to really dig deep. I hope we do not have to do what then Prime Minister Mahathir did, where he said, sige, mag-15-30 lang kayo kasi may tenure sila. Mag-15-30 lang kayo, huwag kayong papasok, pagtangko kayo lahat. I hope we don't have to go that far, but I'm willing to. This is too important. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. Kalimutan na lang natin yung nakaraan. Let's just, huwag natin sasabihin natin, sige, that was not under my watch, hindi ako namamahala nun. Ngayon ako na namamahala, so wala nang ganyan. At kung meron pang ganyan, habul-habulin talaga namin kayo. At hindi po pwede yan because we will not succeed. The government, the economy in the Philippines will simply not succeed if we cannot collect duties, tariffs, etc. Through the Bureau of Customs, and we do not have good collection on taxes, both at the national and at the local level. Hindi talaga obra. We cannot. The numbers don't don't match. So that's why it is very, very important, and we have to, at the very least, reduce the corrosive influence of corruption in government as a general rule.
Isa sa mga world leader na bumati sa President-elect, si President Xi Jinping ng China. At kabilang daw sa kanilang napag-usapan ang ugnayan ng Pilipinas at China.
He called me to congratulate me on winning the election. I immediately went and I said that we have to continue to talk about this. We cannot be allowed to. This cannot be allowed to fester and to become more severe in terms of a problem between our two countries. So that's why in foreign policy, the Americans now, of course, have a very strong global interest, strategic interest in the region with the rise of China and their view that the West Philippine Sea is a critical part of the trade routes, which it is. And that's why it's so important. We are a small player amongst very large giants in terms of geopolitics. So we have to ply our own way. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I do not subscribe to the old thinking of the Cold War, where we had the spheres of influence, where you were under the Soviet Union or you were under the United States. I think that we have to just find an independent foreign policy where we are friends with everyone.
Pero ayon kay Marcos, hindi raw siya bukas sa negosasyon pagdating sa ating teritoryo. Patuloy naman daw siya makikipag-usap sa China para masigurong hindi lumalang sigalot sa rehiyon.
In terms of sovereignty, there is no wiggle room there. Our sovereignty is sacred, and we will not compromise it in any way. We are a sovereign nation with a functioning government, so that we do not need to be told by anyone how to run our own country. So that's essentially sovereignty, self-determined in the Philippines. So again, there is no room for negotiation there. It is sacred and inviolable. We will not allow a single square, and even make it smaller, a single square millimeter of our maritime, coastal, and up to our 200 kilometers rights to be trampled upon. And how do we do this? We strengthen our. Well, we are talking when let's not traipse around it. We're talking about China. And how do we do that? We talk to China consistently, with a firm voice. And we say that hindi naman natin pwedeng girahin. At gusto ba natin gawin yun? Manggigera pa tayo ngayon, papasok pa tayo sa gera. That's the last thing we need. Nasa atin na yung arbitral ruling. So we will, of course, we have a very important ruling in our favor, and we will use it to continue to assert our territorial rights. It's not a claim. It is already our territorial right.
Bago pa man ang eleksyon, ilang beses na raw sila nagpulong ni Pangulong Duterte tungkol sa mga issue tulad ng war on drugs, ang ekonomiya at foreign policy. Dati nang sinabi ng Pangulo na inimbitahan siya mag-advisor sa Marcos administration, pero tumanggi raw siya.
If he wants to.
So it's a standing offer from the President-elect?
He has not. We have not talked about it. But I'm open to anyone who is able to help in the government. If he wants to play a part, sasabihin naman niya sa akin. I'm certainly open to all of that.
Ivan Mayrina, Nakatutok, 24 Oras.